What's up, San Antonio? What is up, Spurs fans? Hopefully, you are feeling great today. It is a beautiful day in San Antonio, and that's gotta be due to the Spurs' win last night. 122-99 over the Toronto Raptors. It was a great game to watch and something we have not seen all season long. The way the team chemistry last night was incredible. So if that is something that they can pull consistently going forward, we have a lot of good things to look forward to. Again, really fun game to watch. Good to see our guys just from the jump, just completely focused, energized, really into the game. Awesome to see. Got lots to talk about today. We're going to recap last night's win. We're going to go over last night's highlights. And we're going to talk about the rebuild process, how that's coming along, and talk about comparisons to a couple of other teams that have gone through a rebuild process before. So let's get into today's episode of GSG Nation. Okay, let's get started for today. Shout outs to the whole team. Everybody pretty much everybody just played incredible. I mean, there was just team chemistry all night. It was great to see Wemby with that historic Spurs fans like to say historic, but a great triple double last night with 10 blocks. Something that hasn't been done since 2021. Shout outs to Clint Capella for that. But as a rookie, oh my gosh. And then the first Spur to do it as a rookie since David Robinson. So he's putting up David Robinson, Tim Duncan numbers. Just incredible play by Wemby. And again, all under 30 minutes. Wow. Not a lot of other people are doing that or are going to do that. So incredible game last night, Spurs. Great job. And just from the start, we were into it. I mean, we start the game off on a 10-0 run. And that 10-0 run, includes Trey lob to Wemby for a huge slam. Has to get the whole team into it. I mean, kept them focused from the jump. And that's how we need our guys to play ball. That is how you play basketball the way that our team played last night. Now, I know it's just one game, so I don't want to overhype what we might see going forward, but outstanding job last night. Great basketball, something us fans have been waiting to see all season long. And hopefully it's something that our core guys can continue to play like, because our core of Wemby, Vassell, Sohan, Keldon Johnson, I mean, they were all contributing, putting up huge numbers. And then, of course, we had tremendous play from our role players. A lot of assists from Trey Jones. Just overall good job from the team. And I gotta say, probably my favorite highlight of that night was the behind the back pass from Vassell to Wemby for the slam. Like, wow. None of us saw that coming. And obviously it was nothing planned, but like, man, the guys were just feeling it enough to where, like, yeah, Vassell's making behind the back passes from the 3-point line, almost falling out of bounds to Wemby down low for the slam. Like, if we could see those highlights going forward, damn, we got a lot of exciting things to look forward to. And I truly think that it is something that they could carry forward. Maybe it won't, be this season, but in the next season, I think we'll see a lot more of this, especially since the guys are, still getting used to playing with each other. Hopefully last night was a little bit of proof that, the chemistry is building. They are meshing more. So hopefully that continues going forward the rest of the season, and hopefully it leads to a little bit more wins. Yeah, wouldn't be a bad thing at all. Man, our team was just putting on a clinic last night. So many highlight reels last night against Toronto. We can go down the list. I mean, Wemby, triple-double, 27 points, 14 rebounds, 10 blocks. Devin Vassell, 25 points. Didn't come to life until the second quarter, but I think he had a 10, 13 point quarter, something like that, in the second quarter. And Keldon Johnson, 12 points off the bench. I think Uh, Man, I think one of the most impressive plays off the bench was from Blake Wesley, ending the night with 10 points and hitting his only 3-pointer. And I mean, he really just hit the bottom of the net with that one. So that was something we have not seen. We haven't really seen him take jump shots. So good to see that fall in. And it was actually, he shot the ball there with confidence. And I think that, just the good play feeding throughout the whole team. Yeah, that helped him nail that shot there. And he goes 3 for 5 from the field. He was being really, really aggressive last night on both ends of the court. So, and he tries to do that night in and night out. So I know we're gonna continue to see that effort every game. I don't know if we'll see the output, but at least we're gonna see the effort. And the more and more he continues to go out there and play confident and work on his game, I think we will start to see this type of output, especially going into next season. Malachi Brenham with an impressive 10 points too. I think the impressive thing from him last night was we saw him play a little bit of defense, which is something that it helped our team, it helped our offense, it helped both parts of our game. So everybody last night would seem to be committed on the defensive end. We were playing good D. Had a little bit of a scare there because in the beginning when we go on the 10-0 run, but then Toronto runs it back on us to go on their own 10-0 run. So at some point in the game, the game's tied 10-10, but we come back and we have more highlight reels. I mean, more Trey Jones to Wimby, Wimby with the jab step, one dribble slam. And then there was the Wimby no look to Sohan for the slam. I mean, my gosh, like the highlight reel list goes on, and that was all just in the first quarter. So outstanding bench play. I mean, looks like everybody was on the board except Devonte Graham. Yeah, he was the only one ending the night with 0 points. He did take a shot attempt, 1 3-pointer that he did miss. Champagny only ending the night with 2 points there. So, yeah, we haven't seen much contribution from Champagny. We really haven't. Hopefully, that's something that changed because I remember at the end of last season and, over the summer, we saw him play pretty well. So I thought that was going to carry on into the season, but we really haven't seen him get on a roll at all. So hopefully that changes. Don't know. I don't know what else to say about that because the chemistry was just flowing last night. So everybody was just feeding off of each other. And if you're only scoring 2 points when we're playing like that, I don't know what else the the team can do to get that guy going. So, hopefully we see a change there. Jeremy Sohan coming out with some new style, wearing a headband. Okay, we see you, Jeremy. Ending the night with 16 points, 6 rebounds, and just locking down Scotty Barnes. I mean, locking him down all night. Um, Golly, like Jeremy Sohan was just a baller last night and just a predator on defense. I mean, my gosh. Those blocks that he had, like he was just really into the game, really using his athleticism on the defensive end. I mean, just both ends. The whole game, just using his athleticism because we saw him with dunks. What I like about Jeremy is that for his size, he tries to do a lot of dunk attempts in the paint, and I think that's awesome because a lot of the good teams have those guys. Those if you're playing power forward center, you know a lot of the good teams have guys that are trying to dunk it when they're in the paint, drawing a foul, as opposed to just laying it up. And instead of focusing on the finish, they're just trying to draw the foul, so they're just throwing the ball up and not really getting a good shot attempt. So I like that Jeremy does a lot of dunk attempts down low, and I think hopefully he continues to do that. And the more and more he does, I know the more fouls that he'll get. That will get called for him too as well. Trey Jones also having a great night too, 7 points but 10 assists and 10 great assists. A lot of them. Just the 2-man game with him and Wimby. It was great to see that he's throwing it up there. Like he's having Wimby go get it. Like it's something that they're working on, and we can see it out there in the court. So last night, it paid off. Like all those pick and roll attempts really paid off. Just great lobs, great vision from Trey Jones last night, and I think he also last night joined the 1,000 assist career list. So great job, congratulations, Trey Jones. You have been playing the point guard position pretty well for us, and you are a joy to watch. Hopefully, we can continue to see a great two-man game with him and Wimby to end the season and going into the second half of the season. And hopefully, we just finish strong with that. But we're really seeing the duo of Devin Vassell and Wimby take over for this team. I mean, those guys together are playing really well, night in, night out. We finished off with Dallas. Hopefully we get them some rest, and then hopefully they come into the second half of the season starting off strong with a little bit of fresh legs. But we really need to see that consistency from those two to end the season. I think it's just important for their game and just for this team going forward. But yeah, their play has been outstanding together, and I really do think in the future, like obviously it is going to continue to get better and better, and I really think like next season we're going to see a huge improvement in that two-man game with Devin Vassell and Wimby. If that core four of Wimby, Vassell, Sohan, KJ, if they can continue to put up these numbers consistently, I mean, we could really, really build something around it. And it's something that this type of play is something that we expected them to contribute from the start of the season, and I expected that as well. I didn't expect us to come out winning a lot of games just because we drafted generational talent, but I did expect a little bit of more of this team chemistry, at least from Vassell, KJ, and Sohan. But so last night, hopefully, is a glimpse of what we're going to see going forward in the future, and it is something that we can build around. We can keep Trey Jones and throw him into that bunch as well, but we surround those guys with some veterans and some shooters, and okay, and I think we're ready to make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. We surround those guys with those vets right now. We're at most probably competing just into the second round of the playoffs, but give those guys some time, 3 to 4 years, to continue to learn each other's game, continue to build more team chemistry. Give those guys about 3 to 4 years, and then throw those vets in there with shooters. Okay, then we're actually a contender. We're talking about being a major contender, because we really, year 3, year 4, we really expect to see a huge evolution from Wimby and his game. And then, I mean, the team is just going to look completely different at that time. And if we do keep that core of players, just imagine you have to see that like the team chemistry will be there. It's going to be good. It's going to be completely different from what we're seeing now. So we just got to give them a little bit more time to figure each other out. Oh man, I just saw another highlight of this one was a pick and roll with Branham and Wimby. Branham from the 3-point line lobbing it to Wimby for the slam. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe what I saw. Man, we saw a lot of good stuff last night, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened, like what got into the guys, but they just played outstanding, just the way basketball should be played. Nobody was settling for just stupid threes. Nobody was staying still on the court. If you got the ball, everybody was looking to drive it. Um, Man, I don't know what got into them, but hopefully they just realize like we got to be more active. There's got to be the constant motion, and we just got to have intensity all the time. Uh, and it seemed to be fun, instead of the guys didn't look tired. I was surprised that Wimby didn't look gassed like he usually does most games. And they, I don't know where the energy came from, but hopefully that continues, and they just need to realize like, yeah, we play like this, the game could come a little bit easier if we stay focused, stay into it. In And it's going to be fun. And that's just how basketball should be played. So, golly, like just highlight reel after highlight reel, still going over it. I mean, these videos are just going off, and it's really fun to watch. So, great job, Spurs. Like, man, our team really did it last night, guys. And again, not trying to overhype the win, but just celebrating the win for sure. Something we haven't seen celebrating, just the way the team played and just celebrating the fact that, you know, the game of basketball was played the right way. And something we've been waiting to see again all season. And we're just celebrating that, not trying to overhype it. And because, you know, who knows the outcome of that Mavs game? We can be very competitive till the very end, or, you know, we can get that 20, 30 point blowout. But didn't mean to speak that into existence. I take it back. That's not going to happen. Wednesday night against the Mavs, it's going to be competitive. Spurs are going to come out top. Just speaking it into existence there. Everybody was playing so well last night. Wimby's triple double just kind of crept up on me, and I didn't really realize that he was coming up on that until block number 8, to be honest with you. Um, so I don't know. Would we say that that was like a quiet triple double because of just the whole team effort and just the great play by everybody? I don't know, but he almost could have got that quadruple double. It just needed 5 more assists. But guys, also he only needed 3 more turnovers to get a quadruple double. He had 7 turnovers last night, and you know some of them were silly turnovers, and that's something too that I've noticed um, from his game is that he has had unnecessary turnovers, silly turnovers where he's either, you know, dribbling too much, or you know, he's just allowing any kind of swipe to let him lose the ball. So, you know, it seems like a little bump on his arm will cause him to lose the ball, and it's just really hard for him to get that back. So I think that's something that he needs to improve on. I do I do like the fact that he said, you know, he said in the beginning of the season that he did have a dribble game, and that's something that he wants to keep to, I believe is what I heard and read. Um, and I think that it is good that he does try to work on that in his game, especially right now when it's kind of like an experimental season. Like, why not? Like, you know, get some of those reps in on your dribble game. I would like to see him end up dribbling like KD, you know, especially in Wimby's prime. I think he has the potential to do that. But as of right now, you know, the problem that we could see is when he is dribbling, he's dribbling a little too wide. Um, which, you know, I mean, look at his wingspan, his frame. It's kind of hard to adjust that like rapidly right now, especially he's only 20 years old. So, you know, just not being a teenager anymore. Yeah, like he's got a lot of improvement there, but a lot of time to work on that part of his game. But if he could just, you know, tighten that up and not, you know, have the ball like so out there to where it's kind of just in the middle of the court where like anybody could just come and take it away. I think that if he can just tighten that up, then yeah, he could have a KD type of game where he's kind of just putting on a couple of dribble moves and then either doing like a turnaround jumper, or doing like a step back three, or, you know, like a sidestep mid jumper. I think that we should allow that dribble game to develop, and yeah, let's see if he can just add it to his skill set. But I don't understand why he doesn't palm the ball more. You know, with just hands that big, I figured like it would just be easy to palm the ball, and, you know, kind of just easy to move the ball like around with just one hand. I don't know why he doesn't do that. I would like to see him just palm it, kind of just keep it high, away, you know, from everybody's reach, because, you know, just when he's fully extended, or just if he has the ball high and extended, not a lot of guys are gonna like just jump and take it out of his hands without fouling him. Like, I don't see that happening. So I would like to see him palm the ball more and just keep it high. We do see him keep it low a lot, and that's when he's getting swiped, and that's when he's losing, you know, the ball. If they're not calling the foul, then yeah, it's just a turnover. You know, he's getting fouled a lot, and they're not calling a lot of them. Although they are starting to call more fouls, which is good. And I think the guys have noticed that too, maybe. But they're, most of the time when we're lobbing it up to him on the drive, he's getting a foul. So it's good to see that we're attempting that more, and it's good to see that we're getting the foul called for us more. Our man Devin Vassell is really just having a great February for us. He's averaging 23 and a half points, 88%, almost 89% from the free throw line, 43% from the three, and 49% from the field. So really outstanding numbers there for him this February. A couple of crucial things, he has missed crucial free throws, so shooting 89% from the free throw line, but that's something that he can absolutely improve on. And wow, like if he's shooting over 90%, that's great. Not trying to critique him, but there's a lot to look forward to, because a lot of those free throws can be easy for these NBA players. Like for some players, it is easy to hit these free throws, and they should be hitting them. They're free points, and it really just takes focus to hit those free throws. So if he could just hit those free throws and hit those crucial ones for us, we're in a lot of these games, because he's missed a lot of crucial free throws. So hopefully, he will improve in that, and he can improve in that. So he'll be shooting over 90% once he does, and that would be great to see. That'd be great for his game and for our team. But all the other shooting numbers this February have been really outstanding. I think he's really coming into his own. I think he's finding his game more, for sure. He's being more confident. I've seen, I've seen just a different attitude from him this whole month compared to the last couple of months. He doesn't really look so down on himself during the games, after the games. And that's what we need. We just need him to be confident. So I think that confidence is helping him find his game, and his shot is just really pulling through for us. So great job last night, Devin Vassell. We really, really hoping that you can carry this on for the rest of your career and just long term for us. I mean, we would really love to see you be part of this team long term. And if you could just continue to produce numbers like this, like, you are absolutely going to be part of the plan going forward. And the team shouldn't worry. Like, I think vets are coming. Yes, we want to hold on to our draft picks, and yeah, we want to build through the draft, which we will. We probably just need like 2, maybe 3 more really good picks in the future drafts, and then just pair this core with those draft picks and vets, and I think boom, like, we're ready to make a push. We're ready to be competitive and make some noise in the playoffs. All right, let's get into some rebuild talk and kind of just talk about how our rebuild's coming along, and kind of what we expect from our rebuild, and then comparing it to a couple of teams like the Orlando Magic and Denver Nuggets. So I think where we're at in our rebuild is we have our group of core guys that have been playing together for a few years now, and now we have our superstar. I think that our next steps would be to draft a couple of more players, maybe 2, 3 more potential all-stars, and then bring in some vets. I think the vet pieces we need, would be like some big men, big men to really bring that toughness mentality to our team and just grit. And obviously, we're undersized right now, so we need size and we need help on the boards. So I think our next steps would be to have some couple of good drafts, and I think that we will. Yes, the next 2024 draft class, nothing special, nobody too like exciting, but maybe we could find some sort of like gem, someone that'll help take us to the next level. But I think that there are pieces out there, a lot of pieces we don't even know of too, probably that the Spurs have their eye on already. But I do believe there are pieces out there that we can draft and then just pair that up with some good vets, and then we're ready to make some noise in the playoffs. And I think that that's our process that we'll take and our approach, especially since we didn't make any moves um, or any big moves this free agency, or I'm sorry, this trade deadline. I think that was confirmation that yeah, we're gonna try to build through the draft, and also too that that's not our only option. We do have the option to give up some future draft picks for some vets or for another existing all star. There's also that future potential that another superstar would want to come play alongside Wimby and play in San Antonio. I know it's never been the trend for any all stars or superstars to want to go play in small markets, but times are changing. And I think that that mentality has changed as well. Proof out there being that Damian Lillard going to Milwaukee. Nobody wants to go to Milwaukee. Nobody ever wanted to go to Milwaukee. Those guys over there are so lucky that Giannis ended up being who he is today. They are very, very lucky. And I'm really happy for them too, because they're another fellow small market like San Antonio is, and right now I'm rooting for all the small markets. Denver being another small market out there, and having won the championship as along as Milwaukee. I think it's great that we've seen small markets be contenders for a few years now, and I think that San Antonio is on their way up to being contenders as well and catching up to those guys. But again, nobody ever wanted to go to Milwaukee until somebody did. And Damian Lillard is a superstar. I know he's obviously older and on the backside of his career, but he could still produce big numbers and really help another superstar like Giannis. And so I do think that there is a possibility in the future that another all-star or superstar would want to come to play in San Antonio. Really, like who wouldn't want to play alongside Wimby? Look how he's playing right now. I mean, not guys barely playing like 30 minutes and putting up triple doubles. Like, and San Antonio's not that boring of a city, guys. I mean, it's from the outside, and I say that from the outside looking in, and just if they probably heard rumors like there's nothing in San Antonio and it's boring. So that's why I say like it's not that boring. But yeah, living in San Antonio and us fellow San Antonians, we know that the city's not boring. There's a lot to offer in the city. We have a great city and we love our city and we take care of our own, especially our Spurs. So I think that we could absolutely we show that right now, and in the future, I could see us getting another All Star to help us win a championship. But all that's gonna take time. A lot of things have to happen right now, but we are already making strides. Again, we've got the core set of guys that have already played together for a while, so that chemistry has already started to be built. It's not just being started from scratch. We're adding one major piece and starting from scratch there, but we're not completely starting from zero. So it's going to take a little bit of time, and time has already passed. So we're not going to have to wait too much longer. And before you know it, again, we're going to be in the playoffs contending, making loud noise. But not too much longer, but we do need to be a little bit more patient. For example, the Orlando Magic. So let's start with them right now and kind of their rebuild process. The Orlando Magic have had 10 players that have played together for 4 years, okay? And that's 10 players playing together for 4 years already. That's a lot of guys playing together for 4 years. I mean, the chemistry that 10 guys have built in those 4 years has been tremendous. And now look where they're at. They've also had 3 players that have played together for 2 to 3 years, which is outside those 10 players previously mentioned. They've had 3 players that have played together for 2 to 3 years. So that's a lot for 3 guys to really build chemistry as well. So put all those guys together. I mean, they have team chemistry. They have experience and they have team chemistry. But they just now have barely entered the playoff race, and they're barely still like in the middle of it. I actually think right now they're just in the play-in tournament right now. And so look how long it takes just for guys, for a whole team to build chemistry, to know each other, to just know everything about each other. It takes a while. And now that they figured that out, they added a superstar as well, Paolo Banchero. He's in his sophomore season, but they've added their superstar. Now they've got all these role players that are just ready to roll with their superstar. They're ready to make a push in the playoffs. It's going to be their first attempt, I believe, in a long while. So probably their best case scenario, they may just make it to the second round. Um, and that was probably their ceiling, to be honest, this season at least. But they have a great team, and they have a core set of guys that they can build around. Actually, they probably won't need to build too much more. What they have their group, they're ready to take that group into playoffs and get some playoff experience. And then they're gonna get some playoff experience now, probably in the next from this year on, about the next 2 to 3 years. Um, then they're gonna really figure out like, okay, we're missing like 1, 2 major pieces, so let's make that roster update. But they're not gonna have to make too many major roster changes, probably, just because they may not want to just ruin that chemistry between all those players. So comparing to the Spurs, we have guys that have played together for 3 to 4 years already. Um, which Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, and Keldon Johnson. So those are our most tenured players. Those guys, actually, I think even Zach Collins too. Um, but those guys have played together for about 3 years now. So they've already built something over a little bit of time, and I do expect to see major improvement from those three going into next season if they're still around. Jeremy Sohan just in his sophomore season for us, and he's playing outstanding. He's really grown as a player. We've seen it all season long, and I expect us to continue to see that as well. Um, but next season he'll be with the team 3 years, so that's already about 4 or 5 guys that will have played together for 3 to 4 years. So we should have a lot of team chemistry going into next season. And then we're gonna add some good draft pieces and some vets into that core group of guys that have been playing together for a while. And I think that's how our rebuild process is going to go. So we've already got our core guys playing together for a while. Really, everybody sees and says we need to add vets. That's coming. I know it's going to come. Wimby even said, of course, he would like to have some guidance from vets, but he did not. I know he didn't say that in some frustrated or condescending way to the front office. Of course, the answer to that question was going to be yes. Why would he not want veteran leadership on the team? Why would he not want to learn from a veteran? So in no way was the answer to that question ever going to be like, no, I think we're fine and we're just going to run it like it is. I don't think that was ever going to come out of his mouth. So I don't think we need to read too much into it as, him being frustrated, because I'm pretty sure that losing is frustrating to the whole team, not just him. But I know, again, he's not a quitter, and if you do see him when he's on the bench and we call a timeout, and the second unit's coming back to the bench, he's giving them high fives. He's got his head up, even though we're down by like 10-20 points. He's still got his head up, trying to pick up other guys. He's into the game. He's not like throwing any tantrums. But yeah, he's showing frustration from losing, and that's okay. That's good. That's a winner's mentality. And if he wasn't being frustrated with losing, then yeah, then we have a problem. And then maybe the losing mentality, has spread and infected the locker room. But that's not the case. The guys are staying in it. They're keeping each other up, and they're picking each other up. And I think that that's good to see. And just the frustration from losing is also good to see because we don't want our guys to be content. Winners get frustrated when they lose, and that's just a winner's mentality. You shouldn't want to lose. You should never like it. You shouldn't accept it. And it's good to see that our guys aren't. They're not just saying like, oh, okay, well, here's another loss. Let's go back to the locker room, guys. What do you want to go do for dinner? What are we doing tonight? Like, no, you're seeing the frustration after these losses, and that's something again we want to see. Going back to the rebuild talk, so I think that give give these group of guys about 4 years, and they're ready to make some loud noise in the playoffs. There's gonna in 4 years we're gonna have major roster updates. We're probably gonna have another player drafted that us fans are gonna fall in love with and just be so happy about. And then we're gonna have veterans that we're used to seeing dominate us. We're probably going to have a couple of those guys come onto our team and finally help us out and win some games. So give us about 4 years, and I think that we're going to make hopefully a Western Conference Finals push. 5 years, I don't see how we are not in the Western Conference Finals. But in 4 years, I think that we'll be ready to make a loud, deep run. And in our 5th year, if we keep these core group of guys, I think that we could really be major contenders for years to come. But hopefully we continue to see this team develop. Hopefully last night was a sign of something. Hopefully we could see it more consistently going forward into the rest of this season. If we look at the Denver Nuggets rebuild process, that took time as well. You had Jokic, I think he was drafted in 2015, and then Jamal Murray drafted in 2016 for that team. Denver hasn't made the playoffs until 2018. Yeah, it looks like 2018. So Murray and Jokic went through a losing strut for about 3 seasons before they were ready to enter the playoff race. And throughout that time, like, they were constantly adding different pieces, multiple pieces throughout that whole time, and really didn't start being major contenders until 2020. And that's when they added major veterans. So it took them about 4 to 5 years just to add major veteran pieces to help them make their push for their championship run. And so I think so then Jokic and Murray, they had all those seasons to build their chemistry there. And they maintained that chemistry. They stayed the course. They didn't panic. They didn't ask out. They stayed in the small market. And once they built their chemistry, their team was able to add all those pieces that they needed. And look where they're at. They're still a contender. And they look to be contenders going forward. I mean, they're still a pretty young team. And now those young guys who started off really slow with rough seasons, now those guys have experience, and now they're reaping the benefits of just going through that time, having to go through the struggles, having to gain that experience. Now they're reaping the benefits in the playoffs and being major contenders. But I see that for us Spurs, we got to let these guys develop together more, build team chemistry, really just figure each other out, and then we can just continue throughout this time, continue to add pieces to our roster and make our playoff run. Again, there's no rush. Even if Wemby wanted out, he can't ask for it out right now. Like, he's on a rookie deal. He's not going anywhere. During his rookie contract, I see this team getting better. I see us making improvements. We're not just going to stay idle, and we're not just going to stay complacent. That is for sure. Don't see it happening, and it won't. But I would love for us to see us get vets that could actually be with us long term, not just like quick fixes for like 1 or 2 seasons, but maybe they could be with us for 5 or 6 seasons, and we could win a couple of championships with them. I really am hoping for that. I think that's what we're looking for, because I don't want to just add any old piece and then we only have them for 2 years right now. I know that maybe the thought process there would be like, well, yes, add, no matter how old they are, just add any vet to the team. That way we could have any sort of mentorship. And I get that, and I can see that point, because we want us to start learning fast and learn now, which we are. But yeah, we want to get that guidance from veteran leadership, and I understand that. But I would also like to see us draft vets that are gonna be around long term, and not just a bunch of people coming and going. Okay, that's it for today's episode. We got a huge game Wednesday night against the Mavericks, our rivals. Can't wait for that matchup. I hope we make it a competitive matchup. I mean, I really hope Wemby stops Derek Lively. I hope he gets the better of him on Wednesday night's game, because Derek Lively has actually been having a hell of a season playing alongside Luka. That has been a really good duo. But hopefully we can make it really competitive and come out with the W on that one. Be sure to keep up with GSG Nation on X at GSG Nation Talk, on Instagram and TikTok at GSG Nation, and GSG Nation on YouTube. Go Spurs, go!